I'll finish off with one question. This was an important one. This individual says, Mr. Rezada says, I am a recent PR, February the 24th. So very, very fresh permanent resident of Canada. How can I help? And, you know, I'm going to leave that as the last open question. And we've kind of danced around a lot of different things that people can do, but maybe Igor, let's start with you. And maybe you can share your thoughts on ways that you think Canadian citizens and permanent residents can best help and contribute to the cause, to helping in whatever way you think might be best. What do you think?
So there are several ways how you can help. Okay, I'll start with the easiest one. So the easiest way, if you, let's say, have financial issues, what you can do, you can share the truth about what's happening in Ukraine. That's the minimum. You can share it through social media. You can share it like by texting your friends. You need to tell people what's happening in Ukraine, that it's not just the war against the military, it's the war against the country with its civilians, people. And then the next best thing you can do is, if you have friends in Russia, and again, I don't want to call for some unlawful actions, but you have to explain that just by protesting in Moscow and St. Petersburg, nothing's going to change, because protests don't help. But protests where you don't allow to arrest and detain people who don't break the law will. Think about it in a way that you can. I mean, it's a very broad explanation of what you have to do other than protest, but I just cannot be more specific, unfortunately. It's going to be politically incorrect, but I hope people understand what I mean. The next best thing you can do is organize a donation with either volunteers or your friends who are in neighboring countries with Ukraine, such as Romania, Moldova, Slovakia, Hungary, or Poland. Send them money so they can buy equipment, either medical or humanitarian equipment, or even food that doesn't waste, like a touristic food, those what you call it, like pre-cooked, not pre-cooked, but like dehydrated food. This will be of great help for people who are stuck in Ukraine in a war zone. The next best thing you can do is donate money to savelife.in.ua. You have the link in the description under this video. This is a well-respected charitable fund that was founded in 2014, and since then has accepted donations. Now, that fund is donating money to Ukrainian army and to volunteers. One of the other ways you can help is by sending money to Red Cross, but in my personal opinion, and again, I don't urge you to follow it, sending money to Red Cross, either in Ukraine, would be problematic right now because of the martial law that we have. Sending money to Red Cross in your home country will be helpful, but it's going to be a little slow compared to if you send money directly to the volunteers or to Save Life in UA. And then finally, I had something else in mind, but again, my memory just doesn't function properly. And
well, I'm gonna pull this up. I was able to. This one that you've recommended is not, obviously it's one that.
Yeah. So when you click on this link, Mark, it should Mark in your search bar. So you can see there's HTTPS and then semicolon and then 2 slashes. Yes. Okay. Yes, exactly. So this is the website. You have the link for it in a description. Just click on that link. It will take you straight here. And then, okay, and now I remember it. Again, my mind is just doesn't function properly. But what else you can do if you are in Canada, Mr. Rasaida? There's an organization called MEEST. It's spelled MEEST. This is a organization that allows sending goods between Canada and Ukraine. Today they've announced that they will be sending a plane with humanitarian aid, and the shipping to Ukraine will be free. So what Ukrainian army and people in the territorial defense need the most is a thermal visors so that they can see the enemy in the night. They need tactical knives, bulletproof vests, helmets. They need tourniquets. They need the medical medicine called CELOX, which is CELOX. CELOX, yes. That medicine is used to stop excessive blood loss. My professor for international law in National University of Odessa Law Academy has joined the territorial defense. So he is on the front line in Odessa. And he just provides me with up-to-date information of what they're lacking. And if you find a way to deliver that medicine to Ukraine, that would be of huge help, because if you don't contribute to defending the army, you will contribute to saving life. And I think that is even more important in the context of war. So I think I've listed all of the things that I had in my mind, and I would appreciate if everyone can contribute in whatever way they can.
Excellent. Anna, last few closing remarks or comments in terms of what you think the best thing that people might be able to do that are here in Canada now. Oh, I think your mic maybe is muted.
Like I'll mention two things that are less concrete and sort of less tangible, resulting in immediate impact and immediate help, but again, like these are meaningful actions. So follow reliable, credible, trustworthy information sources so that you are adequately informed about what's happening in Ukraine, what Russia's position is. And so then you have an understanding yourself, and you might be in the position to educate others who might not have sort of the advantage of the benefit of reliable and accurate information sources. And so you might be, like in your just social circles, in your conversations, you might be able to dispel any myths, any misunderstandings, or any confusions, or like conspiracy theories, anything like that.
Yeah.
And second, I would say that if you have sort of that ability to be vocal about what's happening, kind of raise your voice, speak to your members of parliament, keep asking them questions about what the government is going to do in terms of immigration measures for Ukraine, continued humanitarian aid, continuing assistance to the Ukrainian army, write letters to the editor, to major news sources in Canada, just for the main purpose of keeping it at the surface of everybody's mind. Yeah, like now, here in Canada, if you just look at the news cycle, then like within the course of an hour on the mainstream news source, you will hear about Ukraine, you will hear about other countries. So for an average Canadian person, just consuming the news, it's kind of all kind of changes very quickly from priority and for what gets our attention and our focus. And I'll just give you a very brief example, at which I was actually appalled today. So it was on CBC. It was an afternoon show in Edmonton. And so they were talking about Ukraine. They somehow managed to connect to people who are in Kyiv right now. And so they were describing their situations, those grim dungeon basements in which they were hiding from bombs. And then in the same show, like 10 minutes later, they kind of switched gears and they started talking about disastrous wedding experiences. How somebody ordered like a wedding cake, and they ordered whatever colors, and they had wrong colors on this wedding cake, and it was hideous. And I have a lot of faith and a lot of generally good words to say about CBC, but here I thought, really, like people are like trying to
Yeah.
save their lives and their families, and they go, like, they live in these horrible conditions right now. And how kind of in the same breath you talk about that, and then kind of you
Yeah.
turn around and start talking about something relatively so trifling and frivolous, right? So to me, it was just an example how quickly here, like, we kind of switch our
Yeah.
attention.
Pivot.
And yeah, so the more kind of we speak about Ukraine, the more we speak to our politicians, we try to educate ourselves about what's actually happening, then the more it stays on everybody's like mental radar, so to speak, and everybody's sort of like forefront of thinking, so that 10 minutes later we don't get distracted and diverted by a story about disastrous wedding cake.
Yes. Excellent. Thank you, Anna, for your insight. No, that's good. We've got all kinds of people. I think all of our pets and everything are anxious for us. You guys couldn't hear my dog Simba, who was scratching on my door. I'm hoping there's still paint on it. He wanted to come in, and he usually hops up on my lap and then goes and sits beside me here up on the desk. But unfortunately, the door wasn't open for him tonight. So thank you both for taking time. I know we went quite a long time, and when we do these live streams, they're always recorded. So anyone who is interested in in sharing this video that you're watching with others, there'll be a link, and you can pretty much see it right where you're watching it now. It's being broadcast not just to YouTube, but to Facebook and Twitter and LinkedIn, and so there's other places that this is going to be shown, and we covered a lot of ground today, but what we'll do is, Igor, I think what we'll do is we'll break this up and see if we can put some timestamps on it, so that people can jump around to the sections that are of most use. So I'm taking the risk of posting this, Igor. I have no clue what this person is saying, but
I'll translate it. It basically says, "Glory to Ukraine. Kazakhstan is with us." And they say we could be in your spot, in your shoes. And thank you so much, Mark. Just to add to what you were saying, I'll do my best. I'll use our app called Descript to break it down, and we can either release that as a podcast, or I will just use a voiceover translation in Ukrainian language, so that people in Ukraine who don't speak English can see this. So save this link, subscribe to this channel, and watch out for the next video.
Excellent. Thank you, Igor, and thank you, Anna. We'll let you take off, and thank you for everyone that has been here attending this live. And we'll sign off here with. Well, Igor, I was so close. I was going to play the anthem. I was going to play it. There's this one version that everybody loves, but I'm just waiting. If I did that, I know that YouTube would probably flag the video and put it down. So, well, I've got just this other different song, but we do have the flag. So we'll sign off with this. Thank you, guys.